Okay, so hello. Looking forward to a great night tonight. Yeah. Did a bunch of readings today, and kind of a pretty cool energy going on right now. You know, we're in Leo, and kind of right in the middle, actually, and some of the energies that are kind of bouncing around are really, really cool right now. And looking forward to see how that all progresses over the next several days and the next week. And so I have a couple of things actually I wanted to talk about tonight with respect to kind of an overall general message that came up, really for like the zeitgeist, the collective. And basically, there's a really, really interesting energy going on right now. There's this weird interplay, this ratio of give and take going on globally, and it's very, very skewed. The takers are taking much more than they give, and the givers are giving much more than they take, and it's that's not sustainable, right? And so also it's kind of this idea that the people who are in the position, the ones that are doing all the work and not getting the credit, or the ones that are putting in the effort and not benefiting as much as others, in some cases that scale is so off the charts, like in respect to some of the CEO salaries compared to middle management, or even upper level management, and that kind of idea, right? And then we have this idea of the Six of Pentacles, which was often talked about as charity or charitable, but what we're really talking about is trying to do what's right to balance that, to make right the fact that this ratio is so skewed between giving and taking. And now, and the ultimate lesson of the day with respect to this message is to, if you're on the side of taking, it's time to sort of say, okay, some things need to change to make this right, and bite the bullet. If you're on the other end and you're the one that's the giver and you're the one that's being taken from, now is the time to insist that at the minimum that there is a balance between what you give and what you receive. And if that's not amicable, or if that's not possible, then you need to exert your will and you need to leave. So then essentially the message is to stop being used and to be powerful in the fact that one of the cards that came up for today is the Wheel of Fortune. Be powerful in the fact that those people that are above you, as the wheel turns, always wind up going down as you go up, and so that then you wind up on the top of that cycle, right? So you know, you always have that as a foundation moving forward. So that was the message of the day, and I thought that was a really good one. That was one of those, I think it's gonna resonate with a lot of people, and I think that it's something that really any of us can take to heart. You know, which side of that are we on? Are we the ones that kind of try to please all the time and sort of give too much of ourselves when we don't really have to, or are we the ones that sort of seek that out and indulge on that? And when is it our responsibilities to not do that and to respect the power that comes from balancing that ratio, right? So that's really the lesson for today. So, and another thing we'll be talking about tonight is the card of the day and what that means. Because the card of the day is hello, love angel, Eliza. Oh, good to see you. The card of the day is not a random card that's drawn and then interpreted. It's actually it's a very specific card, and it applies to all of us because it is unchanging. It's not a random process where you shuffle a deck and you pull a card out and then that's the card of the day. What the card of the day refers to is the decanates, the deacons of in astrology, right? And so if we look at the wheel, you see the different times of the year relate to the different astrological signs. That's that inner ring, where at the top you see Capricorn, Sagittarius, and then going around clockwise, Scorpio, Libra, so forth, in the inside of the circle. Well, if you keep going out, you then see the planet associated with that period, then the month and date of that period, and then on the outside of this are the small cards. Or another term for that is the deacons. The deacons, there are 36 of them, and those are the 36 small cards, and that's basically the 2 through 9 of each suit. So 9 times 4, so forth. Those are basically taking a 360-degree circle around the sky, okay, and breaking that up into 10-degree chunks, and each one of those is a deacon and is associated with a time. So we can look at a card for each day. The word deacon referring to decimal, not a 10%. So 10% of a circle is a deacon. And so if we look at the card of the day, we have the 7 of Wands and Strength, which is the major for the time. And so the 7 of Wands, like how did we get that? Like how did the 7 of Wands get decided as the card of the day today? Well, if we look at the wheel, and if you look at the bottom right area, which is where we are now in Leo, today being August 8th, that is the 6 of Wands. That's the planet of Jupiter, the sign of Leo, the element of fire, and with respect to the major in this case would be Strength, which is associated with the astrological sign Leo, right? So that's where we get our major. So this is the ultimate karmic environment that we find ourselves in today, and how we deal with that, how we work within, work around, or succumb to this energy depends upon our own internal situation. So this is a very effective way if you take your own circumstance astrologically and apply it to the card of the day, which is really, again, not random, but a very specific astrological symbol. It's a quick way to say, okay, it's kind of like doing your own horoscope on the fly. And so you just need to be able to identify what your card is. And once you've identified your card, you can kind of do your mini horoscope by looking at your card and how does it connect with, combine with, or negatively affect the card of the day, right? So That's one of the things I want to do tonight is kind of, we'll find out whatever your card is, your individual card based on your birthday, and then we'll apply it with the card of the day to have sort of a individual kind of reading on what to expect. So, and this is for tomorrow. This is for the 8th. So today, midnight, I'm Eastern time, so I guess -5 GMT. So, that said, let me jump to the chat here real quick and see what's going on. And everyone will have to let me know how the stream's going tonight. If we're having any technical issues, please let me know. And because I made some adjustments to hopefully deal with some of the problems that we've been having with hiccups and skipping and so forth. Buffering and hopefully it had a positive effect. We'll see. I can only hope. Just give me a moment to open this up here. I'm going to make a small list of the queue for the one-card questions, the free questions. So we have Love Angel and then Eliza and Just Me, welcome. And so I'll get you guys on that list real quick. It's just taking a moment to load up here. I mean, my little laptop can't handle that much while streaming, so you have... In the meantime, let's look at a puppy. Okay, so this is little Melanie. She's a new puppy that joined our family a couple months ago. She's about, I guess, 5 or 6 months old right now. Right? You about 5 or 6 months, maybe. She's very sweet. Okay, so just loading up here, almost. Taking quite some time. In the meantime, then I'll start shuffling and go from there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she is something. That little girl is really adorable. She is pretty cute. She really, she's a dachshund, and one of the interesting traits of a dachshund that I wasn't aware of is they have really long tails. And I tell you what, her tail is as long as her body. It's really something. And did not expect that in such a small dog, but it's a cute trait. Okay, so let's see what we can see tonight. Now, this particular deck that I'm going to be using is called, let me switch to the list here, Tarot of the Holy Light. It's on the top there. That's a great, this is a great deck that I've been kind of, it's been growing on me lately. It sort of moved up into my top 5. And I've been reading tarot for a very long time, and I don't tend to change very often, so this, that means something. And that said, I think you guys are going to enjoy the visual approach that the artist took, and the way it was assembled. So, okay, great. So let's see, Love Angel, you were first. Karen's current feelings. Okay, Karen's current feelings. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's zoom in on the desk. Okay. What we have here, let me zoom in again. What we have here is first of all, it's a major as opposed to one of the minor arcana, and so the energy of it is going to be a little bit broader. And we're looking at a couple of things here as far as how somebody feels. This card represents, astrologically at least, represents Virgo, or the water bearer. The water bearer means a couple of things. Usually it's implied that there's a level of abundance or a level of plenty. But I think that that's a very sort of broad stroke understanding of the card. And the lesson, I think, is a little deeper. There's also an idea implied, I think, that of the work of the water bearer. And the side effect, the product of that work is enlightenment. And more specifically, becoming that light, right? And so what I'm getting at is that in this circumstance is the idea of being seen, of being noticed, of giving off light. And when you consider giving off light in its core meaning, you're talking about making something obvious, making something able to be seen. So that's kind of what, and so when you would just apply that to your question, there's definitely noticed, and at the same time a sense of enlightenment. That person kind of looks at you in a way that you are above them in to some degree. Whatever quality that is, I'm not sure, but they look at they look at you, and there's a quality about you that they see as greater than them, and I'm not sure what that quality is. It could be mental. They may look at you as smarter, or they may look at you as sharper or quicker mentally. They may look at you as stronger emotionally, or they may look at you with some level of authority in some way. And that, so you are noticed, and as well, admired in some fashion. What I could say is that we could certainly get further into the ins and outs of that particular circumstance, whether there's a positive or a negative side effect to that connection. Is that connection something that you want to pursue, or something that frankly wouldn't be worth pursuing if you look at the long run, and kind of get a 60,000 foot view? And something like that would probably be, I think, very appropriate for a mind, body, soul reading. If you'd like, you can, in the description is also information about how to book a private reading, or we can do it here tonight as well if you'd like. And I appreciate you liking the video. Thank you so much. And I hope that was insightful. If you do see any value, share it. This is getting the channel going. Really, it means a lot. And every share counts, every like counts, every comment. It really makes a big difference. So I appreciate it. Okay, so it's what we have next here on the Eliza. Married in the next 3 years. Let's take a look. So, what do you guys think of the Tarot of the Holy Light? I really, when I first started using it, I was unsure what to think. The symbolism at first initially seemed a bit too different, and it kind of made it a bit inaccessible to me initially, until I realized I was kind of overthinking it, and suddenly it became very fluent. I don't know. It's interesting, but the artwork, I don't know. I'm just a big fan of it. I've always been a fan of that kind of alchemical, hermetic, esoteric treatise type woodcut look, and this deck pulls that off in a very kind of interesting way, in a combination too of like in a composited way with the graphic design of the person who put the deck together. So it's like a combination of old style art and the new style. I don't know, it's great. Okay, so Eliza, twin flame, married next 3 years. Let's see. Let's zoom in on the desk. The Two of Discs is an interesting card because what it refers to is kind of going in a circle. If you can imagine sort of like constantly moving. And so the implication in here, in this case, is not that there's an end, but that there's sort of like a circle. Astrologically, in the Tarot of the Holy Light, the sign and planet refer to Capricorn and Venus, or rather Venus and Capricorn. Venus and Capricorn, you sort of have a practical, emotional standpoint, and this place of kind of eager to pleaseness, almost like a friendliness, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that person is motivated. Okay, I would say that somebody who is a Venus in Capricorn may sort of be what you would call an overthinker, or somebody who the imagery in the Rider-Waite-Smith is juggling, right? And so a person is just is sort of like wasting time. So I would say, in respect to what you're talking about, what you have here is a no. As far as when, that's certainly something that we can take a look at. Because the cycle does seem to that like it's something that's going to... Schlock, how's it going? Good to see you. Something that's not going to end anytime in the immediate future. So it looks like it's something that actually is probably going to wind up sticking around for a while. So, yeah. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I mean, we could expand on it a little further if you'd like. Depending upon how long you're going to be in the stream tonight, we can circle back around and address a different question related to that, or expand on that a little further. Or for that type of thing, I would say that Mind, Body, Soul is a very good reading. It's almost like a love kind of reading in general, because what we're looking at is the different connections between the physical, mental, and emotional states of two people. So it's kind of like looking at a karmic snapshot and then we can see, do those two things gel or not, right? So that's a good way to kind of, expand on that, is that mind, body, soul reading. It's a 3-card question. It's $5. Or, once we get through a little bit and I move on and we have that, we come back to the live free part, then I'll be happy to review that for you. You can take a look at that. Okay, next we have Just Me. Okay. So, Just Me, if you are still in the room, let me know. And if you are, then we can go ahead and look at that. Lorraine's feelings right now toward K. If you're still in the room, let me know, and I'll shuffle in the meantime. And while we're waiting, I wanted to talk about something interesting tonight. We spoke about a few different things already related to the card of the day. And what that means, the fact that that's not a random pull or a different for everyone. This is a static card that is the same for everyone. And what it refers to are the deacons that are essentially astrologically, the portion of the sky that we are in right now, so to speak, when the sun rises. And so essentially what that does is that gives us the card that is appropriate to that day. And our card of the day, all of us, is the Seven of Wands. Okay, Just Me is here. Okay, great. So let's take a look. Feelings toward you right now, toward K. Aaron's feelings right now toward K. Okay, let's take a look. Let's zoom in on the desk here. Okay, let me give this a good riffle. Missed that one. All right. Okay. All right. So the question is, once again, Arian's feelings toward K. The moon very often refers to, due to the intrinsic nature of the fact that it occurs at night, or is most visible at night, refers to darkness, which also refers to not easily seen or hidden. In some cases, that hiding is intentional. In some cases, that hiding is just by virtue of the fact that it's blocked by something. And it's not intentional, but nonetheless is difficult to see. And so with respect to your question, what are Arain's feelings right now? Those feelings are secret. They're hidden in some fashion. Now, the question in this case is that an intentional hiding or is that an unintentional hiding, i.e., it's blocked from vision by something, and so it's not easy to see? That's the question we have to kind of look at here, right? So I'm going to actually flip another card to see what that answer is. I'm curious, is that secret on purpose, or is it by virtue of the fact that something simply blocks it? So let's find out. I'm just going to find out. Five of Wands. Okay, there's something blocking it, and it's natural. It's not deceitful. There's no deceit, I think, is the one point that I want to draw with respect to K. How Arraign's feelings are with respect to K are non-deceitful. They're not hiding it. But there is something else preventing their feelings from becoming known. Another way that you may look at this circumstance, actually, and this sort of, I think, might be a little more in line with what's happening. I think that there might be some kind of unknown circumstance happening, meaning that there may be some kind of secret understanding between several people about this relationship, or these two. And so that's interesting. That means there may be a third or a fourth person involved, or, there's somebody else is involved and they're keeping that secret. But this circumstance is, there's something more going on here, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, big time. And let me zoom in on that Five of Wands for you. Okay, this is the Five of Wands. This card esoterically has a lot of symbolism, but we're just going to, rather than getting too far into that circumstance, there is this idea of an agreement amongst people to keep something secret is definitely implied in this circumstance. I'll put it that way. Okay. All right, great. So I hope that was insightful, and if it was, all I can ask from anybody is please like the video at the minimum. A comment would be great. I really appreciate that. Comments make a difference. They do. And of course, anyone who would like to buy me a cup of coffee or any donation certainly is I'm very grateful for that. Okay, so let's take a look at what do we have here? Schlock, okay. You and Vidisha committed relationship. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try a different deck. Let's switch it up. So far we've been using a deck called the Tarot of the Holy Light. It's sort of at the top there. Great deck. I encourage you to take a look at that. I didn't get it from Amazon. I don't know if it's available there, but I'm sure Google can help you find it. Great deck for. But I will say that it's really good for people who are analytical, technical, sort of like have a left lean in some fashion in their thinking, in their brain. It's sort of mathematical and analytical in some degree, symbolically. But to those who are right-brained, it's actually, there's so much beautiful imagery for you to bounce off of. So, I take it back. It's good for everyone. Okay, so let's look at, I think, the Radiant Sun. Let's go Radiant Sun. Why not? The Oracle of the Radiant Sun is astrology based. It's not tarot, but it's based on planet and sign interaction. And so it's a really good way to get sort of like if you were to shine the light of truth on a situation and it cast a shadow on the floor, what is the shape of that shadow? That's what we're going to be able to answer with this deck. All right. So let's take a look. These are, as you can see, they're very shiny. There's some kind of coating on it that's like a plastic, and they're quite thick. And that sort of chunkiness makes it a bit difficult to shuffle, and so you have to be patient with me as I sort of struggle through that. They're also a bit sticky, and I'm in the mountains in upstate New York, and we are currently experiencing a pretty damp heat wave, and so the air is very wet. So these are especially hard to shuffle. So, okay. Vidisha, committed relationship. Let us see. Pull one right out of the middle. There we go. Okay, what we have is Venus in Leo. This is great for your question, because essentially what we're looking at here we are in the period of Leo right now, so that also kind of refers to sort of like the immediate future, because we're already in this period, and we're in this period for just a short period of time left now. So it's coming up within the next several weeks, whatever is going to occur. Affair could also potentially refer to, one of many different types of relationship. But the fact that this is related directly to your question kind of lends to a pretty obvious answer. That there is some type of circumstance here. Now, I'm going to answer no. You will not be in a committed relationship. And why I say that is that the card does not imply a connection that lasts. It implies a connection that is short and like a flash, powerful, strong, passionate, but it doesn't last, right? An affair does not imply longevity. An affair implies short and sweet. Okay, so the answer is no. It's not a committed relationship. Okay, so I'm sorry if you were looking forward to that. But what is more important is that you take it for what it is, and there's no shame in pursuing joy in your life, as long as you're honest with yourself and that person, what the relationship is, and that you're both in the same place, that you're okay with that, and that you understand what's going on. So just approach it maturely, and approach it with spiritual rightness, and it'll be fine. Okay, I hope that was helpful and insightful, and if it was, again, please like the video and leave a comment. It means a lot. It really does. There's something I wanted to do tonight related to our subject. The subject that I'm talking about today is card of the day, and what that means. It's not a random pull that's different for everyone. That card is the same for everybody, and it's unchanging. Tomorrow it'll be the same card, and the day after it's, that day has its own card. And it's based on this idea that we've taken the sky, the ancients did, and they cut it up into 10-degree sections. And each section is broken up in a bunch of different sort of mini sections. For instance, there's the 30 degrees that refer to each sign. Which, I don't need to remind you that that 30 degrees also represents a moon cycle, but nonetheless. It's also broken up into 10 degrees, which are the deacons, and there are 36, which is 360 degrees divided by the 10 degrees is 36 deacons, and that's the outermost band, where you see the symbols like the star and so forth of the cup. Those are the symbols of the tarot. That's the pentacle, the wand, the cup, the sword. And so now what we do is look at the date, right? Today is the 8th, and this is the card for the 8th. And so if you look at the bottom right, in that yellow section, we're right in the middle of Leo right now. And the card for that period of time, that 10-degree period, is the 6 of Wands. Okay, and so now what we do is we look at our card of the day, 6 of Wands, and we interpret that. And my interpretation of the 6 of Wands, or 7 rather, the 7 of Wands. Did we get the correct card? Let's make sure we got that correct. Nope, that should be the 6 of Wands, not the 7 of Wands. Yep, the 7 isn't until the 12th. So we're going to want the 7 of Wands, the 6 of Wands. Okay, that's better. All right, and so let's just take a look and make sure. On the bottom here, between August 2nd and August 11th, that's where we are, yeah, is the 6 of Wands. Okay, good, very good. There we have the 6 of Wands. Okay. Great. Pardon me. Sorry about that. So, what we do is we're able to interpret the overall environment that we're all in based on the deacon. This is for the 8th, so this is for the next 22-hour period. We're looking at the environment of the 6 of Wands. Now, what we're looking at in the 6 of Wands is the idea of the individual that has the power to draw a crowd, to bring people together, to gather like-minded people. That's an important power. And the major for the day, which is associated with the sign, right? So if we go into our wheel in the bottom right again, in the yellow area, we are in the period of Leo, and the major arcana that is related to Leo is the card Strength. Okay, and so now Strength is a number of things, but one of the things that Strength has always meant to me is not just the intrinsic strength that we can access under the right circumstance, but also the strength that comes from experience and things that we go through and how that affects us and how we evolve because of that. And as we experience and we process that, we become more enlightened. And you'll notice on her head is the infinity symbol. There's a friendship with the lion. The lion doesn't even have the capacity to see her as a threat or as prey, because she's in such a state of ecstatic enlightenment that there's a strength that's derived from that. But that also implies, through Leo, implies, and this is one of the reasons that Crowley and others, they don't call the card Strength, they call it Lust, is the lion is free, therefore, to explore its animal side, and that can lend to, depending upon how that is used, can be, positive or negative. So in this case, then, the lesson is, for today, in the next 22-hour period, try to gather like-minded people and understand the power of the crowd. On the side of Strength and on the lesson of Leo, at this particular circumstance, that strength might come from this level of being noticed, of being seen, and everything that sort of comes along with that, right? So now there's a cool exercise I wanted to do tonight, and so I invite anyone who would like to participate in this to join me. What we're going to do is I'm going to take the Rider-Waite, and we're going to apply it. We're going to find your card and apply your card to today's, and have the daily personal message based on that. So anyone who wants to participate, all you have to do is plop in. Don't worry about year. We don't need the year. Plop your birthday into the chat, and we'll look it up right here. Okay, we can find it very easily. We'll determine what your birth card is, and then we'll take that birth card and we will interpret it with and connect it with today's card, giving us the personal reading for the day. Okay, so just anyone who'd like to participate, all you got to do is drop in your month and date of your birthday, and we'll find your reading. Okay, so I'm going to start. I am December 16. Okay, so if we look on this wheel here, that's going to be toward the top right. And you'll see that refers to the 10 of Wands, right? 10 of Wands. So let's go back to... And I'm going to find a 10 of Wands here. Which is, it's a person carrying a bunch of sticks. I'd say that there's some cards that are maybe have a little bit better energy about them than the 10 of Wands. Although it's beautiful in one sense as well. Okay. You know, 10 is the number of Sephiroth on the Tree of Life, and with respect to the tarot, there is a significance in that. That's related to the number of Sephiroth. So you'll see oftentimes, not in the case of the wand obviously, but oftentimes the cards have an artistic relation to the Tree of Life for that reason. That's the reason you'll see that on the 10s. But this is the 10 of Wand, right? And so if you take the 10 of Wand and you apply that with today's card, which is the 6 of Wand, what you have is hard work. Okay, let me zoom in on that right there. Right? Hard work leads to this circumstance. And again, the 6 of Wand is the circumstance of being able to gather like-minded people, the ability to more importantly actually too is to, because there is an implication here, is to be seen for right action, right? So basically like becoming a leader through doing the right thing and being noticed for it, right? Marwa, hello. Good to see you. Absolutely, sure. No problem. We're also doing something special tonight where I'm finding your birth card and then applying that to the date, to the card of the day to do a quick little sort of horoscope. And if you'd like to participate in that, that'd be fun. All you got to do is put your month and day of birth, not the year, don't worry, the month and day in the chat, and I'll do that for you. And in the meantime, I'll shuffle, and I'll get ready to answer the question, what will happen next between you and Ahmed. Okay. T24, cool, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Just looking into something really quickly for Marwa, and then I'll be happy to answer your question. Okay, so let's see. What will happen next between you and Ahmed? Okay, so let's zoom in on that. Interesting. So the moon. You know, the moon. This came up recently for something else, different circumstance. But the moon. It means a couple things. It means Pisces. It means water. However, it also means hidden. It means not easily seen. It means sometimes deceits, but not always. And so it's often it's a good idea to be careful not to jump to that conclusion, right? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I'll try another card. And the question here is going to be, is it being hidden intentionally, or is it being hidden because just something happens to be in the way? Okay. Right. Yes, okay. There's, you know, okay, one more. All right, so, all right, here's the deal. And this is kind of good. Let me zoom in. This individual is not being 100% honest about how they're feeling, or something's hidden. There is a level of deceit from this person. Now, that's not permanent, and they will answer for it, right? There's a point, and it's in the near future that that deceit will end, and they will be in a position of answering for that. Now, the final card that came out, which essentially is saying, okay, well, what is the outcome after the judgment, was the Lovers. Okay, which, I mean, as in respect to your question, what will happen between you next? The answer is some event is going to shed light on a hidden circumstance that he's being dishonest about. He will answer for that, and then there is the development of a relationship because of that. Okay, so that's what I see there. I hope that was insightful. You know, certainly we can expand on that and get more granular with respect to the circumstance, the sort of karmic shape of the relationship and the bridge, if you'd like. There's instructions in the description, as well as if you'd like to do it live here, we have a couple of different options. Something for that. A what if would be nice too. That's an interesting reading that I do, where we can kind of look at it's actually a pretty advanced spread. It was developed in the Golden Dawn era by some very powerful people, but the spread is designed to look at kind of applying your circumstance to two different decisions, and kind of looking at the outcome and which one would be more appropriate. But the beauty of it, I think, and it's often missed even by people who practice this for a long time, is what that does is it provides you like a spectrum of possibilities based on your decision, and it's much, much broader than the normal tarot reading. And that's the what if reading. But anyway, there's a lot of circumstances. But if you'd like, you can check out the description there. And all I could ever ask, if you find value in what I'm doing, is give the video a like and a comment. So let's see, September 24th, let's take a look. I'll shuffle in the meantime. So you are essentially just entering Libra, right? And the planet that rules that day is the moon. Oh, thank you. Okay. Now, obviously, the major for your birth major card is, let me find it here, Justice. Sometimes it's called Adjustment, depending upon the deck. And let me zoom in here. Okay, so this is your major, right? And your minor is the Two of Sword, right? Right, Two of Sword. Right, yes, Two of Sword. Right. So let me find the Two of Sword for you. Okay, so the birth card is unchanging. Once you are born, that date is what informs this card, and so it's not a card that changes. It's not like pulling a card and doing a reading. It's something that you carry your life, and same thing with the major. Let me actually put it this way. Same thing with the major. Okay. Now, the major is based on your astrological sign. It's based on your sun sign, more appropriately. It's based on your sun sign. And with respect to the small card, that's related to the deacon, right? And so the purpose of this exercise is to take your birth cards and apply it to today's cards to have a reading with that respect. So first of all, we have the Two of Sword, right? And this is a very sort of iconic tarot image of a person blindfolded holding the two swords, sitting, almost in a meditative position, right? And then we have Justice, which is the idea of the balance and fairness. And let me be clear, fairness, I don't mean that from like the anthropomorphized human kind of fairness, or even within the court system. There's an idea in the universe that it's a zero-sum game and balance will occur, whether it's almost like gravity is a function of the fact that the universe must find balance. And so if something bends, gravity will just instantly react with it, just in order to create, to not allow there to be an imbalance, right? So the universe is very strict in that. And Justice is an example of that. And then you have the Two of Sword, which is sort of an idea of mastery in a sense. Somebody who has achieved a level of almost zenness, right? And when you put those two things together, it's actually very an interesting combo, actually. This is sort of like a, it's a power of, or an energy of discipline. Self-discipline, self-will, and discipline. And so that's the opportunity there. Now, to apply that to today, with the 6, you have a gathering of a group and a person who has the ability to gather. So that would apply in the sense that this person would garner a level of authority within like-minded people, meaning that you're popular among your friends. And that being said, it allows you to, when needed, even bring together people that would normally argue but don't because of you. And that's an important gift to present to the world, really, frankly. And then when you look at Justice related to strength, I mean, certainly the idea of that level of balance being assured due to just sort of like the physical nature of the environment, strength is guaranteed in that sense. So, okay, all right. So I hope that was insightful, and if it was, please like the or and consider commenting and sharing and so forth, and doing all the stuff and the things. I appreciate it. Okay. Alright, so what do we have here? T24. Akshay is good life partner for me? Yes or no? Let's take a look. Gotta use a different deck for that. Gonna move back to my Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Great deck. Love this. This is really good, and it's very good for this type of question too. So, there's a lot of karmic consequence that this deck is able to reveal. And so in doing that, we can really get to the heart of why certain circumstances happen the way they happen, as opposed to just cause and effect. There's so much that can actually go get behind the cause, the actual reason things occur, and the effect can be very, very unexpected. So let's take a look. Akshay, good life partner, yes or no? What we have here is Mars in Libra. So there's an idea of essentially there's an argument that occurs, right? There is a disagreement that occurs. Let me zoom in on that for you. Okay, we have Mars in Libra. They name this choice. Now, choice is an interesting term to use for this energy, and I'm not sure if it's 100% the best, but at the end of the day, you're talking about two people deciding whether or not this circumstance is acceptable, right? So let me zoom in on that for you. Actually, let me right there is even better. Okay. So you have Justice, who actually appears in this card, which is sort of really neat because there she is with the sword and the scales, right? This is Justice. And then you have this person right here that's almost in a state of like asking for forgiveness, right? And so, and now you have the, like the knife in the heart, right? You have the shackles. Okay, so all of these things lead to an affair. Somebody who did something bad, broke somebody's heart, was dishonest, and has to answer to that. So what I'm getting at is that this person would need to come clean, and if they don't, then they're not a good partner. If they are willing, for the sake of love, be honest with being dishonest in the past and be upfront about what they did, then that it would make a good partner, right? So that is what I'm getting. So Akshay, maybe there's some type of betrayal, and I think it's important for them to come clean before you can make a decision that that's somebody you want to commit to in that fashion, Okay. Alrighty. Great. And so if anybody else would like to know their birth card, let me know and we'll find it for you. Just put your month and day of birth. You don't have to put the year if you don't want to. And we'll find out. And let's take a look at the wheel. You're quite welcome, T24, anytime. Thank you. And all I can do is ask if I did anything of value that you like the video, and consider commenting and sharing and all this stuff. So if we look at this as well, this is a very good way to kind of get an idea moving forward, kind of what you're moving into. Now keep in mind that you cannot just look at the card that's there. You also have to look at it in conjunction with your own card, right? We don't all have the same experience. And so it's very important for us to see this through the lens of our karmic trajectory and not just some general whatnot. So the way to do that, again, is to determine what your birth card is and then apply that to the interpretation of the daily card, right, of today. Let's see here. What do I want to use? I haven't used my Crowley Thoth in a while. I don't know why, but I just haven't. Let's do that. Okay, Marwoy, let's do this in the meantime then. We'll take a look at your other question. If you're still in the room, let me know. And if so, then we'll take a look at your question there. Cool. Awesome. Alrighty, let's see here. Alright, well, the Cancer then, your major would be the Chariot. So, the Chariot's a very cool card too. I've kind of always been connected with it, although it's not my card. Mine is art, and it's at least in the Crowleys, it's called art. But anyway, your card is the Chariot. So Marwa, this is for you. Let's see what the deal is here. There's that sword. A lot of swords, man. Right? Okay, so there we go. The Two of Wands in this particular circumstance too is kind of referring almost to sort of a blockage, like there's something there that, like, stopping something is the energy of that. It's almost like the fiery swords that stop the re-entrance to Eden, you know? I get that same vibe with respect to the Seven. I don't know, that's interesting. I do see his next actions being, there is it's some kind of activity that is going to kind of be designed to impress you. Like, the intent of what he's doing is sort of like the sole reason for it is so that you can be impressed. So it's kind of like somebody who tries really hard to seem smart or funny or you know, whatever the case, that kind of thing going on. And potentially try to, and this is an immediate future, so I would say within the next several days, I would say that you can expect to see some type of trying to stand up in a group and try to, like, look big in a group of people, right? So look, see if Ahmed kind of tries to be kind of cocky, like in front of a bunch of people, just to look strong, and that when he does that, it's to impress you, okay? But he doesn't. There's something stopping. There's something kind of like preventing communication of that. Like, it's weird. However, I mean, the events are going to unfold, and it'll be pretty clear when he tries, like, he's sort of like makes himself known in a group, and has some kind of behavior that was specifically designed to be seen by you, so that you would be impressed by it. So yeah, that's the basic gist of what I'm puppies are all stretched out on the couch. I have two little guys here tonight with me, and they're all sleeping. Okay, let's see what we got going on here in the chat there. Okay. Okay, who's... So this one is for, this is for you again, T24. Okay, let's take a look here. So let's zoom in. This is for T24. What is actually his next action for me? What does he feel about me? Okay, there's an idea here of threeness, that there's not just, there's sort of like a third person involved in this situation getting in between it. That's interesting. Almost like he's undecided between you and somebody else, maybe. Okay, prudence and fortune. This is really refers to, essentially, it's kind of like, let me zoom in here. What can happen when rightness is included? When you do the right thing, you have plentiful growth. Here, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is more of the attitude of kind of just going with it, or whatever kind of comes to you, sort of taking the random approach, as opposed to the one that's stricter and will give you good results every time, but is more work and a lot of labor and not as fun. Whereas in this circumstance, you have sort of like it's risky, but is exciting, you know? And so what we're looking at here are like two different circumstances, right? And these two different circumstances provide different results. And so these are the two choices that this person is making, right? Like there's, I don't know, I feel like there's a level of like, I mean, I do see that, you know, just to directly answer the question about like sort of how they're feeling and what's their actions, there is attraction there. And there is therefore the fuel for there to be the possibility that this person acts on that and might do something about that, right? Now, you know, but it seems like that they've done that before with others, and that there's not really a level of caring about that or respect about that. So just keep that in mind, because I don't see that person as being somebody that's honest, that can be trusted, really. So I would say definitely no to that. Yeah, so. All right, guys. Well, listen, I need to jump off of here for a little while. I'll be back probably in about 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for popping in on the stream tonight. And again, all I could ever ask, if you like what I do here, please just give the video a like and some comments. Thank you so much for joining. If you'd like to, and you're going to be around, again, I'll be back probably in about 20 minutes or so to pop back in and maybe jump into some other stuff. So hopefully we'll see